I was born and raised in Miami. In the summer of 2008, I traveled to Havana to work on a research project. Eventually, um, I got deported, but that's a different story. While there, I met Agustin, a young artist from Santiago de Cuba who was in Havana for the summer visiting his father. Agustin and I are close in age, and since he was one of the very few people I knew in the city, and vice versa, we met up a lot. We went to museums together or just talked by El Malecon. Agustin has a girlfriend. Her name is Erin. They're madly in love with each other. The only problem is that he lives in Cuba, and she lives in New York City. Her birthday happened to fall on July 28th, while I was still in Cuba. Agustin wanted to surprise Erin with a romantic birthday phone call. In Cuba, this is much more complicated than it should be. For reference, Agustin has a job where he makes about $13 a month. Now, he wanted to talk to his girlfriend for as long as possible, let's say an hour. That would have cost him over $160 in phone cards. That's over a whole year of work. One phone call. For an hour. So, the week before Aaron's birthday, Agustin went on a desperate search for a more affordable way to call the US. He asked everyone he knew in Havana. Everyone. But carefully. What he was asking for is kind of illegal. Then again, most of the things you might want in Cuba are illegal, or ridiculously expensive, or just impossible to find. Eventually, Agustin found someone. His half-brother's mother's friend or something like that told him about a place, a house that offers this underground phone service where $1 buys you 5 whole minutes. This seems sort of sketchy and too good to be true, but Agustin still made an appointment for around 9 the night of Aaron's birthday. He asked me to come along, so I did. We meet at the steps of the Capitolio. We take a bus that drops us off fairly close to the house, and we walk the rest of the way. The streets are wide. It's pretty run down. There are dogs everywhere. But the neighborhood is active, though it's dark because there are very few street lights. Kids are playing, reggaeton is booming. People's living rooms and the street seamlessly blend. It's about 9 by now. We find the address. The house is tucked into an alley-like entry, leading to a narrow outdoor corridor. We enter the first door on the right, straight into the living room of the house. In the corner to the right of the entrance is the TV. Suddenly, I'm transported to Miami. The TV's blasting the Judge Judy Spanish knockoff, Veredicto Final. I know this show. I've watched it before, with my mom, my grandmother. I've heard the judge pounding her gavel while the defendant and prosecutor shot away like 2 cars incessantly honking at each other. I know this, and, for a moment, I'm oddly comforted by it, blaring from the corner in absurdly loud volume. The guy in charge asks us if we want to watch something different. I think the phone bandit's name was Enrique, or Eduardo. It doesn't matter. Enrique. Enrique is young, in his early 20s, thin, dark, and around 6 feet tall. He has a light goatee and long braided black hair that goes down to his back. Tonight he's wearing a gray tank top, short electric blue sport shorts with 2 vertical white lines on each side, sandals, and a black fanny pack. He looks so out of place, like a tourist at Disney World in the 1980s. Enrique changes the channel. It seems he has some kind of satellite, internet-connected cable thing, or maybe it's like TiVo or something. I'm not sure. All I know is he can change the channel and choose from a variety of genres. TV shows, movies, music. He settles on a series of YouTube-like viral videos. There was the video of a man that can fit an entire soda can in his mouth, or the chimp that can pee in his own mouth, or a bunch of funny European commercials all having some kind of sex reference. There's that condom one about the bratty kid at the supermarket, and the wedding ring commercial about the underwear pocket, and the speaker commercial with the stuffed animals humping. We also watched what seemed like an endless stream of real TV, America's Funniest Home Video, Jackass-inspired accident sort of stuff, and of course videos of really bad Photoshop pictures. And like before with Veredicto Final, I was kind of loving it. I mean, it was just so surreal. At this point, I had been in Havana for a little over a week, and being from Miami, of Cuban descent, I figured the city would be somewhat familiar. But to tell you the truth, it wasn't. But this night, this was the first time I felt at home, and it freaked me out. It made me feel really foreign to everything else, you know, like looking at yourself in the mirror for way too long and realizing the otherness in you, the stranger in you. The YouTube videos, that was my reflection. I mean, I just felt American. Not that I wouldn't, and I know this sounds kind of obvious and naive for me to say now, but at that time it really shocked me. Yeah, fine, all of this is the product of globalization, transculturation, whatever, but it was more than that. It was like 2 caricatures crashing into each other, and it was real. I mean, there wasn't a hint of irony in all of this. People from the neighborhood kept flocking in to watch more movies, even if they weren't using the phone. The glowing TV was the only streetlight on that block, and we were all moths swarming around it. And for a moment, I was back in Miami.
Era Dios,